Without any question, the world that we live in today is a world that is filled with sorrow, pain, and suffering. And there are many wonderful books and resources which have been written from a Christian standpoint, a Christian viewpoint, which answer the question, why is there evil in this world? And also the connected question, why is there suffering in this world? Hope in Truth Ministries brings you a resource, Endurance Experts, which answers the question not why is there suffering, but how we can respond to suffering in this world and in our own lives. I wrote Endurance Experts a few years ago when I was living in the United States, and the subtitle of the book is A Perspective on Suffering from an Eastern Millennial Living in the West, because I wanted people in the West, readers in the West, to be aware of certain Eastern philosophical and religious viewpoints that were informing their responses to suffering. I also wanted people who were living in the East to be aware of certain Western philosophical and religious viewpoints that were informing their responses to suffering. So what can you expect when you read Endurance Experts? For example, I touch on the Buddha's viewpoint on suffering and how Buddhism is actually shaping many people's responses to suffering in the West. I also touch on the naturalistic viewpoint on suffering, aka Darwinianism, and how Darwin so influenced a man named Adolf Hitler, who then got steeped in the occult, and he, of course, we know, influenced the course of Europe. Very importantly, Endurance Experts touches on how you might have joy even in the midst of the most heavy suffering that you are going through. Ultimately, Endurance Experts will point you to the God-man Jesus Christ, who suffered not so that we might not have suffering, but so that we might learn to suffer as he did, suffering that has joy in the midst of it. If you would like to get a copy of Endurance Experts for yourself, the details on how you can get one are on screen and also in the description below. I hope and pray that this resource is one that is very helpful both to you and to those you know, so that you may learn how to better respond to suffering in your life.